The battle you never asked for, finding strength in unexpected places. Have you ever found yourself in a battle you never signed up for? That moment when life hands you something so unexpected, so challenging that your first thought is, this can't be happening to me? I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Ronda Broadus, a remarkable woman whose journey through unexpected battles has transformed not just her own life, but the lives of countless others. Rhonda isn't just a survivor, she's a revolutionary force who has dedicated her life to helping others find strength in their darkest moments. Her work has created ripples of transformation across communities, especially for those facing battles they never anticipated. Through her compassionate guidance and unflinching honesty, she has illuminated paths forward for people who thought they had reached dead ends in their journeys. Her insights reveal something powerful about the human spirit, that sometimes our greatest strengths emerge precisely when we're fighting battles we never asked to face. Think about it. We spend so much time preparing for the challenges we can anticipate. We build careers, save money, plan futures. But what about those moments that blindside us? The diagnosis that shatters your 5 year plan, the betrayal that dismantles your trust, the sudden loss that leaves a gaping hole where certainty once lived, the battles we never saw coming. These unexpected battles have a way of revealing who we truly are. They strip away pretense, they demolish our carefully constructed facades. And in that raw, unfiltered space, something remarkable happens. We discover capacities within ourselves we never knew existed. I remember sitting across from Rhonda as she shared stories of remarkable women who faced seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Women like Dr. Rhonda Vaughn, who found herself drowning in the isolation of solopreneurship while juggling multiple ventures. Vaughn Chiropractic, Social Oak, and her coaching business. I was hustling myself into exhaustion, Dr. Vaughn had told her. Everyone talks about grinding and pushing harder, but I was already giving everything I had. What I needed wasn't more hustle, it was aligned people. That revelation changed everything for Dr. Vaughn. She realized that sustainable success wasn't about working herself to the bone. It was about building intentional networks with supportive peers and mentors who could speak her name in rooms where she wasn't present. The moment I shifted from trying to do it all alone to cultivating genuine relationships, Dr. Vaughn shared, my businesses began to thrive in ways I never imagined possible. Her story illustrates something profound that Ronda Broadus emphasizes. Resilience isn't just about gritting your teeth and pushing through. It's about recognizing when the battle requires a different strategy altogether. It's about understanding that sometimes strength means acknowledging your limitations, not denying them. And sometimes that strategy involves letting others fight alongside you. This brings me to the second insight from my conversation with Rhonda, the transformative power of authentic support systems. We live in a culture that glorifies self sufficiency. We celebrate the lone wolf, the self made success story. We plaster our social media with quotes about doing it alone and needing no one. But what if that narrative is fundamentally flawed? What if true strength lies not in standing alone, but in knowing when to lean on others? Consider the journey of Rhonda Rampage, founder of Rampire Entertainment. As a Black woman entrepreneur in the high stakes entertainment industry, she faced constant resistance, from funding obstacles to breaking into established networks dominated by others. But rather than trying to fight every battle alone, she leveraged creativity and grassroots community engagement. She built from the ground up, starting with small showcases that eventually grew into signature events, drawing citywide attention. The industry wasn't designed for someone like me to succeed, Rhonda Rampage had explained. So I had to create my own path, but I never did it alone. Every step forward happened because someone believed in my vision enough to help make it reality. With limited resources but immense vision, she produced acclaimed live events, fostered new opportunities for underrepresented performers, and earned recognition among peers for her resilience against systemic barriers. Her story reminds us that even when the battle seems impossibly stacked against us, we don't have to fight it alone. In fact, sometimes the most courageous thing we can do is to allow others to stand with us, to admit vulnerability, to accept help. But what happens when even our support systems feel insufficient? When the battle is so overwhelming that human resources alone don't seem enough? This brings me to the third powerful insight from my conversation with Ronda Broadus: the anchoring power of faith. For many facing life's most daunting challenges, faith becomes the foundation that carries them through. Not as a magical solution that makes problems disappear, but as a source of hope and direction when personal resources feel depleted. Take Ronda Saucedo, founder of Lineage and Legacy LLC. As a financial strategist focused on wealth building rooted in biblical principles, she faced skepticism from both clients, unfamiliar with faith based finance approaches, and mainstream financial circles resistant to inclusive narratives around generational wealth among Black families. Rather than abandoning either her faith or her mission, she integrated them more deeply. She developed accessible education programs combining practical investment strategies with spiritual guidance, empowering clients to overcome generational poverty cycles. I found strength in Proverbs 13:22, Rhonda Saucedo had shared. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. That wasn't just financial advice, it was a promise that gave me purpose when doors kept closing. Motivated by personal experiences witnessing economic hardship and inspired by the conviction that true wealth is holistic, she created a business that bridges gaps between spirituality and entrepreneurship. Today, she's helped hundreds achieve greater financial literacy and guided families towards sustainable wealth transfer models rooted in cultural values. Her story illustrates how faith can transform our relationship with adversity, not by making the battle disappear, but by giving it meaning, by helping us see beyond the immediate struggle to a larger purpose. Now, I want to be clear about something. These insights aren't just feel good platitudes, they're practical truths that can transform how we navigate life's unexpected challenges. When we embrace the idea that resilience unlocks unseen potential, we stop seeing obstacles as merely things to overcome. We start recognizing them as opportunities to discover strengths we never knew we had. When we acknowledge the power of authentic support systems, we free ourselves from the exhausting myth of self sufficiency. We create space for genuine connection and collaborative success. And when we anchor ourselves in something larger than our immediate circumstances, whether that's faith, purpose, or a vision for the future, we find the strength to persevere when everything in us wants to give up. These aren't just strategies for surviving life's battles, they're pathways to thriving because of them. I'm reminded of something Ronda Broadus said that struck me deeply. The battle you never asked for might be the very thing that reveals who you were always meant to become. Think about that for a moment. What if the challenges that seem most unfair, most unwanted, are actually unveiling capacities within you that might otherwise have remained dormant? What if Dr. Vaughn had never experienced the isolation of solopreneurship? Would she have discovered the transformative power of aligned relationships? What if Rhonda Rampage hadn't faced industry resistance? Would she have built a platform that now elevates countless other underrepresented voices? What if Rhonda Saucedo hadn't encountered skepticism about her faith based approach to finance? Would she have developed programs that have now helped hundreds break generational cycles of financial insecurity? Sometimes the battles we never asked for become the catalyst for our greatest contributions. But here's the thing, this transformation doesn't happen automatically, it requires intention, it requires community. It requires faith, not just in a religious sense, but faith that meaning can emerge from even our most painful experiences. So I stand before you today with a challenge, not just to passively receive these insights, but to actively integrate them into your life. When you leave this room, I want you to do something radical. Find that battle you've been fighting alone, the one you never asked for, and invite someone trustworthy to stand with you. Share your struggle, not the sanitized version you put on social media, but the raw, unfiltered truth. Then look at that battle through new eyes. Ask yourself, what strength is this challenge revealing in me that I never knew I possessed? What doors might this difficulty open that success never could? And finally, connect to something larger than yourself, whether through faith, purpose, or vision. Find that anchor that gives meaning to your struggle. Because here's what I know to be true, the battles we never asked for often become the defining moments of our lives, not because they break us, but because they remake us into people of deeper compassion, greater resilience, and more authentic connection. As Ronda Broadus has shown through her own journey and through the stories she's helped bring to light, our unexpected battles don't have to be the end of our story. They can be the beginning of a far more powerful one. A story where we don't just survive our challenges, but are transformed by them. A story where we don't just achieve success, but create communities where others can thrive too. A story where we don't just endure life's battles, but find purpose within them. That's the invitation before each of us today, to face our unexpected battles, not with fear, but with courage, not alone, but in community, not with despair, but with faith that on the other side of this struggle, we might just discover the person we were always meant to become. Thank you.